Hello good people, today I have WZ113. I have 3 games for you and we're going to discuss the tank and the way I used it. Here we are on Rockfield and I'm going to make use of the very solid speed of the 113 to take an aggressive position early. I should mention that in this game this play is especially dangerous because they have a 260 and an IS-7 which both match my mobility and could fight over that position. But since neither of them gets spotted by our Skoda here, I assume that I'm free to go and take this position here, which as you will see pretty much paralyzes their entire flank. And this tank, along with being very fast, has a nice strong turret, a beautiful upper plate, and decent sides. It's better than something like a 215B and definitely better than the E5. And you also have the best DPM of any heavy in the game. It's got 3400 plus DPM with gun armor, of course, the nice 420 alpha, but it's not all good on this tank. It has probably the worst traverse both on hull and turret. It has APCR main shell, which is has worse normalization than the AP. The penetration isn't that great anyway, and also the gun handling is pretty poor. Although the accuracy isn't bad, it's the same as on the T125. The dispersion when moving and traversing is pretty bad. As you saw there, the IS-7 decided that he should push me, and it's sort of the right thing to do, to push in this position, but he didn't have any support while I did, so he just vanished. Plus he was unable to penetrate his shots. Now we push and I decide to go for the Jagdpanzer. I have enough hit points, I have another tank with me, so I reason that I can push this just fine. I go around his gun and I take my time to aim for the track, because even if he's going to repair, if he repairs it, it means that at some point he will run out of repair kits. And here I make a bit of a mistake. I thought he was just going to push forward, but he actually tried to defend against me because he noticed I'm doing a poor job. But I'm able to get the track and now get behind him. I noticed the AMX 5120. I want to turn around and shoot him. He tracks me and I get stuck on that little corner of bunker, which ends up in a complete disaster. I take a full clip and a shot from the AG. And killing that guy was the correct call because I could avoid the gun of the Yag, and he also does more damage with his clip, plus he's able to run away, whereas the Yag would be still there. But poor driving made it almost go sour. But it was a nice victory that was decided very early on, with them not being able to do anything and me having a very strong position to shoot them in the side. So let's get to some more exciting games now. In this game we are on desert sands, and intuitively I would say you want to go into the open, into the dunes, because cool down tank and mobility. But we have the disadvantage on the medium side. I have horrible traverse, and the positions aren't really like that good. I could fight pretty well there, but something tells me that nobody would want to fight me frontally, and so I don't have any issues with going city, especially that my team and all my mediums were also coming into the city. This tank can side scrape pretty well. I have the DPM in case of a brawl. I'm doing perfectly fine. Also the 420 alpha isn't bad, but I spotted them early. I managed to get a shot in, yet they pushed in quite aggressively and our Foch is already down. Not good, but we can hold here. I think it would be pretty hard for them to push. We have some tanks in the back, including a 1A3. I have some crossfire here. As you can see, side scraping in this tank, it can work. It's not any 100 or a mouse where you can just side scrape for days and not give a damn. Just go aggressively 45-degree angle. No. This it's more reserved. To get a proper angle you would have to show a bit of your upper plate, but it gives a harder shot. And unless if you're not doing this against preempt targets, you are most likely going to be fine. The I-7 goes down, and now that I really doubt they will make a push, I decide to do something about this very annoying Vickers. Thankfully, both of our American light tanks decide to come in and shoot this guy. They don't shoot him too well, but the amazing DPM of this tank, especially with the HE, even though it's not the best HE, it's still 500 alpha on a 7.3 second reload, means I can put a lot of damage. Sadly, I don't manage to grab the kill, and also because we were busy with the Vickers, and now also two with me, 3 tanks on the Sheridan, they were able to push and kill our Emil. Emil dead, however, is well, he was pretty low on health either way. What I'm not sure about is how the 183 and why he ended up there. But now we can start farming the M6 Yo, the test tank currently. We put a lot of shots into him, and now with the gun that he's using, the 120mm I believe, which is a 2-shell autoloader with a very short intro clip, they decided that, you know, 900 alpha over a second having 3000 DPM might be slightly overpowered, so they finally nerfed the DPM into the ground, which means that facing these tanks in battle no longer puts you at a clear disadvantage, which means that we are able to finish him even though he does put a clip out. And then it's time to push. They no longer have any the dangerous tanks. I mean, you could say the Vickers because of the mobility, but he's a one-shot, so we grab the 4th kill there, and we manage 6000 damage and an ace tanker. Almost 6000 damage. We played it fairly passively, but the enemies were playing aggressively, and there was not really much room for a counter push as we were flanked around from the back. In this game we are on Castilla, and similarly to the previous game on Rockfield, we are going to make an aggressive push from the get-go. Now this time it is safer because other than the 2-on-5B, none of their tanks can really be in position to punish me. So I am full of confidence going straight for it. Also, we notice that the enemy has a medium tank advantage, which means that my team is very likely going to be behind me on this side. So here is the move. Go across the water, across the open, behind those houses, and if they have fast heavies like a 50B, like an IS-7, like a 260, then they can be in position and punish me. But they don't. Only the 2-on-5B with speed boost could have been there, so I am free to come up here. I poke quickly once because I've never been spotted. I'm there very fast, so the chances of someone pre-aiming me are very low. But now that position is very dangerous to poke because I show my side way before my gun and they could be pre-aiming me. Their mouse is doing something. This isn't bot matchmaking, this is my main account at 30 something thousand battles. It's a normal game, that's just the players I've been matched with. If you look at my team, they're also just staying in spawn, not really doing much. But I see that the 268 is coming in, and knowing that I'm not alone, I finally decide to push. I don't want to go for the mouse because 1, I'm open to shots from that position, and 2, because it's a mouse, it's got all the armor, it's got all the hit points. I'm not fighting that. I'm going to come here where I'm covered, where I have a good hold down position, and going to shoot their juicy tanks. I'm going to shoot the Conway, the FV, the mediums. I mean, T92-1 is the only one here. Tanks with good guns and not as many hit points. I still shoot the T92-1 over the 2-on-5B because the 2-on-5B is dead. There is no way he gets out alive. We have our entire team pushing here. Well, almost. The 268 is still trying to do something about the mouse back there, and there is also the YAG sticking back, but this 2-on-5B is going to die regardless. The T92-1, however, might run. He might get some cap play going, so the more HP we can get off him, the better. A bit careless there, taking a lot of damage, but being pushed forward like that, they would have to drive out more in order to shoot me than to shoot my teammates, so I was a bit surprised that they both shot me and didn't really get shot back. I have no idea what my team is doing behind me. They're not advancing on these guys. The mouse is still doing, I mean, not having anything to worry about. Taking shots at our team and not taking anything back. So I put a shot into him. I see this guy pushing, so I think I can put a shot into the STB, but it ends up being a trade, which isn't good for me. Now I'm a one shot for him. So this has just become dangerous. The 50B was reloading his clip in front of him. Okay. Now that I'm rewatching the replay and seeing what my team is doing, it's all even weirder. But I'm going to make my weird play here too, which is just push in front of the STB. He probably wasn't expecting it, and that was risky. But I decided, come on, if he shoots, then he's gonna die. I've had enough of this stuff going on. So he's dead, and now the flash comes. Probably should have fired a hit here because it's more reliable, but fully aimed in, the gun isn't bad. It's the 125 level, it's pretty good, just that the dispersion when moving and traversing is pretty bad. And this tank also moves at pretty high speeds and traverses at very low speeds, but that doesn't matter much. No, so it's not very accurate on the move, you need to actually stay and aim in. Well, that's the win. 5 kills, 6000 damage for the ace tanker. It was it was a bit silly, but we got the push, we got the active play and made use of all of our tank's advantages. So that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed playing the 113. It's always a fun tank to drive, that mobility, that DPM, the hold down play. Very solid tank. Of course, the quality of life, like the only 330 hit pen, the not very good standard shell leader, the gun handling, the traverse speed being really bad. All of those things are negatives, but if you manage to avoid going into them and play only around your strengths, what a fantastic machine this is. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.